In the twilight realm between light and darkness, a strange and wondrous world awaits. The Gothic Revival was a time of mystery and awe when the boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred. Here, we'll gaze into the depth of this mystical landscape and uncover its secrets.
Hello everyone! This is Mobina Soleimani.
And this is Marzi Gordashkani, and welcome to our podcast.
The Gothic genre has been a source of fascination for many people over the past century and a half. Despite its evolution and diversification, the genre remains a vibrant and influential cultural movement that continues to inspire creativity, individuality, and self-expression. We aim to explore the origins and development of the Gothic subculture, tracing its roots back to the medieval period in Europe and its connections to punk, post-punk, and new wave music.
The Gothic subculture has undergone significant transformations over the years, with its early days dating back to the late 1970s and early 1980s in the UK. The term goth was initially used to describe the dark and somber evolution of punk rock, characterized by bands like Bauhaus and Susie and the Banshees. The subculture's distinctive style, which included black clothing, makeup, and hairstyles, was influenced by elements of death rock, punk, Victorian, and Renaissance attire.
The origins of the goth subculture are complex and multifaceted, with some tracing it back to the late 1970s and early 1980s, while others argue that it emerged in the early 1980s. The movement's development was influenced by literary figures such as Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, Lord Byron, and John Keats, as well as dark and brooding music. The works of these authors, particularly their exploration of themes such as death, decay, and the supernatural, resonated with young people who were disillusioned with the mainstream culture of the time.
The connection between Gothic rock and punk is significant, with many punk bands evolving into Gothic rock bands. The iconic Batcave in London played a pivotal role in solidifying the Gothic rock scene as a distinct subculture. The movement's early days were marked by a sense of disillusionment among young people who sought to establish their own cultural identity separate from the materialistic and elitist society of the time.
The Gothic subculture has undergone 3 generations of development, with each generation shaping its own unique style and aesthetic. The first generation emerged in the UK as a splinter from the punk movement, while the second generation emerged in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The third generation saw an explosion in the number of people identifying themselves as Gothic, largely due to the widespread commercial availability of Gothic culture.
The legacy of post-punk music is also explored here, with some arguing that punk had to die so that it could live. The demise of punk led to the emergence of new subcultures, including the Gothic subculture. The power of these classical subcultures lay in their ability to shock and challenge established boundaries, leading to significant social change across different regions.
The impact of the Gothic subculture on popular culture cannot be overstated. It has influenced everything from fashion to music to film and literature. The style of Gothic clothing, for example, has had a lasting impact on fashion trends, with black clothing and accessories becoming a staple in many people's wardrobes. The music of Gothic rock bands has also had a lasting impact on popular music, with many artists incorporating elements of Gothic rock into their own sound.
The rise of digital media has also had an impact on Gothic subculture. With the advent of social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok, Gothic fashion has become more accessible than ever before. Many young people are now able to express themselves through fashion without feeling pressured by societal norms or expectations. This has led to a proliferation of Gothic fashion trends online, with many people creating their own unique styles inspired by Gothic aesthetics.
The goth subculture has also had an impact on mainstream pop culture. Many artists have incorporated elements of Gothic rock into their own music, such as Marilyn Manson and Nine Inch Nails. The popularity of Gothic inspired TV shows like The Vampire Diaries and True Blood has also helped to bring attention to the goth subculture.
Furthermore, the goth subculture has also had an impact on art and design. Many artists have incorporated elements of Gothic architecture into their work, such as intricate stone carvings and stained glass windows. This has led to a proliferation of Gothic-inspired art pieces online.
The goth subculture is also known for its strong sense of community among its members. Many people who identify as goth have found solace in online communities where they can connect with others who share their interests. This sense of community has been particularly important for those who may feel marginalized or isolated from mainstream society.
In addition to its influence on fashion, music, art, and community building, the goth subculture has also had an impact on mental health awareness. Many people who identify as goth have spoken out about their struggles with mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. This has helped to raise awareness about these issues and reduce stigma around mental health.
In summary, the Gothic subculture is a rich and multifaceted entity that has developed over time through its ties to punk, post-punk, and new wave music. Its unique visual identity and sensibility have been molded by literary inspirations, moody and introspective music, and a sense of disaffection among young people who yearn to carve out their own distinct cultural identity. Thank you for listening
And have a good time!